Success is like throwing pebbles into a lake. When you throw the first stone, for a brief moment you feel satisfied. Then as it sinks to the bottom, so do your hopes that one day you'll see the manifestation of your work sit atop the surface. Sometimes, despite thinking we're doing everything right, we don't feel like we're making progress fast enough, to which we curiously ask, why do my goals always seem just out of reach no matter what I do? Well, imagine for a moment walking up to the shoreline of a beautiful lake. On the ground, you're surrounded by an abundance of pebbles. Each pebble represents an action that you could take that, when thrown, brings you one step closer to the attainment of your goal. But only if enough of them land in the same spot in the water, to the point that they pile on top of each other and break through the surface of the lake. You pick up a pebble that looks the right size and shape, and you throw it with all of the strength that you can muster. It flies through the air, and for one magical moment, you're proud of yourself. It hits the spot. You stood up and you gave it your all. Within seconds, these feelings fade as it sinks to the bottom, out of sight, out of mind. So you throw another and another, but because you can't see them piling up on the bottom of the lake bed, and you have no idea how deep the lake is nor how many shots are required to break through, you end up losing your hope, your hunger and your drive, because in your mind, regardless of whether or not you calculated the weight of the pebble, the precise angle of the throw, your actions aren't resulting in anything tangible you can see right in front of you. And because you feel like no matter what you do it's not enough, dis-ease creeps in and your throws get sloppy, veering off course, landing nowhere near your target. Some days you show up at the lake's edge with faith that you'll break through. Other days you don't. But finally one day you'll wake with clarity. There'll be something different about how you feel, see the world, and most importantly, see yourself. You will have attained a state of mastery after years of practice and persistence. Today, in a pure state of being in which the way you feel perfectly aligns with the actions that you take, you'll walk up to the lake's edge and with a smile on your face, search amongst the stones, not for one that looks right, but for one that feels right. This day, you finally allow your intuition to guide your hand. You find the perfect stone and you effortlessly throw it into the distance. It flies through the air and to your amazement, it sits on top of the pile of pebbles just beneath the surface, exposed for the world to see. Today, you've finally broken through. With this sight in mind, you realize that on days of clarity and congruency, the lake is clear and you can see your progress being made just beneath the surface. You see the actions you've been taking stacking one on top of the other, culminating into what will become a tipping point in the realization of your goal. You also realize that on days of self-pity, the water is murky and you cut yourself off from seeing what's right in front of you. On either day, you choose the lens in which you see the lake. You see, 99% of one of your creations is nearing completion at any given moment in time. And although we're taught to see the forest for the trees, sometimes to keep us going when we feel like giving up, we must take a stroll through that forest and acknowledge that each tree was once a tiny seedling we planted that came to fruition and broke through when it was good and ready. In this moment, we acknowledge each seedling, each stone, each pebble planted or thrown plays an important part in the bigger picture, regardless of whether we can see the progress or not. It's on this walk through the forest in which you finally breathe in and celebrate all of the steps you've already taken that you'll stumble across a beautiful lake with an infinite number of possibilities surrounding it. On this day, instead of looking off into the distance at where you want to go, you'll look down at your feet and realize that you are and always will be standing on everything you need right now to bring your vision to life. If only for just a second you looked beneath the surface and see how far you'd already come, you'd realize you've never been closer to breaking through than you have been right in this moment, right now. There's only two things you need to do. Let your intuition guide your hand and take another shot.